Daredevil is a 2015 Netflix show based on the long-running Marvel comic character. The series is directed by Phil Abraham and cinematography by Matthew J. Lloyd. The series is considered the peak of Marvel content, and it can be said that it is due to the way it is shot. The series looks nothing like any other superhero content produced before, then or after. In fact, the argument can be made that Daredevil is shot like Neo-Noir. But first, what is Neo-Noir? Neo-Noir is a modern revival of the noir genre characterized visually by its dark lighting and shadowy cinematography. Examples of Neo-Noir films are Nightcrawler, John Wick, Jackie Brown, and Drive. But why is Daredevil shot like this? Daredevil the series at its core is a pulp neo-noir action TV show. The series is characterized by its shadowy cinematography bathed in the grimy yellows of sodium vapor street lamps and the colorful neon of New York City billboards and seedy bar signs. Unlike most New York-based media, which sticks to the tourist locations of the Empire State Building and Times Square, Daredevil is set in the seedy, disgusting neighborhood of Hell's Kitchen, and so the series shoots this neighborhood with authentic lighting. Of course, they don't actually use street lamps to light the scene, but they did use the same type of bulbs for most of the series, and even if they couldn't, they mixed multiple different gels to turn their RE-T12 tungsten lights into the perfect imitation of industrial vapor lights. The entire series takes on this lighting style, whether it was the main story sequences shot by Lloyd, or the second unit action sequences by Jim McMillan, who was Lloyd's longtime key grip. They went through a great deal of effort to get the show's dark aesthetic, whether it was rigging the famous Daredevil corridor on two DMX channels and switching between them as the camera changed perspective in a continuous single take, or to building an 8-foot by 8-foot air-filled balloon with sodium vapor lights inside. All this work helps the series feel like the crime-ridden Hell's Kitchen of the comic book. They could have easily just had the mise-en-scène do all the talking to get that desired effect, but their choice in lighting, being stylized yet completely authentic, is an indirect way of showing the audience just what Hell's Kitchen is like. But the show isn't all flashy, colourful lighting. Daredevil is shot on the red Epic Dragon with ARRI/Zeiss master lenses. These lenses were used on neo-noir films such as Drive, Blade Runner 2049, and The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. DOP Matthew J. Lloyd was quoted in saying, "We had a full range of every available focal length, and we were shooting in very dark night scenes with a lot of stunts and fast movement. With the bulk of the show shot between T1.4 and T2.0, our ACs were virtuosos at hitting focus under extremely challenging conditions. All that effort paid off as they were able to get some incredible shots in low light situations. Putting it side by side with other neo-noir media, you can see a lot of similarities. In fact, it seems like a lot of shots were heavily inspired by the neo-noir film Drive." Switching the show to black and white, it looks exactly like a classic noir film, but why? Why does this series feel like a neo-noir film? Well, at its core, if you look past the blind superhero part, Daredevil is a one-man crime fighter fighting against a large and imposing powerful villain through a grimy crime-filled New York City. There is a damsel who comes to the hero seeking help, an informant within the police force, and copious amounts of nameless, faceless goons. This is a classic noir story, so they decided to film the show like a noir. It also set Daredevil apart from everything at the time. Even in 2015, when the show came out, there were 14 different superhero TV shows and 19 different movies, but none of them were like Daredevil. The Marvel movies of the time were often criticised for being generic and having ugly grey looks to them. Daredevil, by contrast, looks nothing like what people had seen before. Daredevil is a street-level hero with a lot of pulp noir inspirations. In fact, his most famous run was written by Frank Miller, the man who made Sin City, one of the more famous noir revivals. A completely unique TV show within a genre that is often criticised for being oversaturated. Daredevil's neo-noir cinematography sets itself completely apart, carving out its own genre within a genre.